Coal and petroleum. Natural resources. The Earth is the only planet in the universe which supports life. The origin and the survival of living organisms on the Earth is all due to the availability of the materials required by them, such as air, water, soil, and the minerals. These are the major resources of the Earth. The heat and the light received from the sun play an important role in its survival and continuance. Utilization of resources. Plants, the producers, use carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and the minerals from the soil to make their food in the presence of sunlight. This process is called photosynthesis. It takes place in the presence of the green pigment called chlorophyll. Animals, for their survival, need oxygen from the air, water from the water bodies, and food from plants and animals. In the same way, humans too need air, water, and food. We use the resources present on the earth in many other ways. Any natural material found on the earth which allows the existence of life and satisfies various human needs is called a natural resource. We get these natural resources from the solid part of the earth's crust, the water bodies like rivers, lakes, and oceans, and the atmosphere that surrounds the earth. Renewable and non-renewable sources. The resources found on the earth can be divided into two main groups. 1. Renewable resources. 2. Non-renewable resources. 1. Renewable resources are those resources which will either never run out or can be replenished or reproduced within a reasonable period of time through natural processes. Some examples of renewable resources are water, air, sunlight, plants, and animals. 2. Non-renewable resources, which once exhausted cannot be replenished within a reasonable period of time. Some examples of non-renewable resources are coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. They took millions of years to form, and if once used up, will take millions of years more to replenish. In the same way, the topsoil of the earth takes hundreds of years to form, but some non-renewable sources such as metals can be recycled and can be used again and again. Exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. The natural resources can also be classified as exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. If a resource cannot be replenished at the same rate at which it is being used or exhausted, or if it takes a considerably longer time to replenish, it is an exhaustible resource. Such resources are available only in a limited quantity and will get exhausted one day. Some resources, such as air, water, and sunlight, are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. These are called inexhaustible resources. They will never run out. Conservation of resources. All the life on the earth is dependent on resources which nature provides us. Hence, it becomes our duty to conserve all resources, be they renewable or non-renewable. The wise, careful, and judicious use of resources is called conservation. It refers to maintaining the quality of resources besides preventing their wasteful expenditure. Sources of energy. Humans require energy for every task they perform. We need energy for domestic use, agriculture, and industry. The devices used at home require various forms of energy. Fuels. Burning of any substance gives out energy in the form of heat and light. Some such substances are wood, paper, coal, and petroleum products. Any such substance which provides us energy when burnt is called a fuel. Fossil fuels. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are called fossil fuels as they were formed from the dead remains of living organisms, that is, fossils. Fossil fuels were formed when the dead remains of plants and animals got buried under the surface of the earth and the oceans. Tremendous heat and pressure combined with a long time changed them into their present state. Coal. Coal is as hard as stone and is black in color. It is also a fossil fuel which was formed by the gradual decay and compression of remains of ancient forests which were buried millions of years ago under the surface of the earth. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. The period during which the coal was formed is called Carboniferous Age. Coal mainly consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, besides small amounts of sulfur and nitrogen. Coal is processed in industry to get some useful products. This process is called destructive distillation of coke, where coal is heated strongly at about 1000 degrees Celsius in the absence of oxygen. It yields products such as coke, coal tar, and coal gas. Petroleum, the black gold. Petroleum, crude oil, is found trapped in sedimentary rocks under the land or sea. It is used as fuel. Petrol is used in light automobiles such as motorcycles or scooters and cars. Heavy motor vehicles such as trucks and tractors run on diesel. Refining of petroleum. Petroleum is a dark, oily liquid. It has an unpleasant odor. It is a mixture of various constituents such as petroleum gas, petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, etc. The various hydrocarbons present in petroleum have different boiling points as number of carbon atoms in different hydrocarbons is different. Increase in the number of carbons leads to comparative increase in the boiling points. This property is used to separate the various components of petroleum by fractional distillation. These components having different boiling points are called fractions, and the process of separating different constituents or fractions of petroleum is known as refining, which is carried out in a petroleum refinery. Refining this crude oil gives us various products. Natural gas. Natural gas is found with petroleum in underground reservoirs. It is mainly made of methane, though small proportions of butane and propane are also present. It is a very important fossil fuel as it is clean and non-polluting, besides being easily transportable through pipes. Natural gas is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, CNG. Energy and technological development. Human energy needs are at an all-time high at present times. This is because of the population explosion, but the primary reason is the development of latest technologies which require a huge consumption of energy resources. Some such areas where energy consumption has increased manifold are as follows. Use of various gadgets at home also consume great electricity. In agriculture, energy is needed to run tube wells, tractors and other agricultural equipments. Manufacturing of goods in workshops and factories require huge amount of electricity. Food processing and storage of food products in cold storages also need huge amount of electricity. Vehicles and other means of transport use up huge amounts of fuels and electricity. Prevention of energy crisis. Some measures to deal with the situation as it develops are as follows. 1. Judicious use of energy implies preventing wasteful expenditure of energy and usage of energy-efficient methods and equipments. 2. Not wasting energy by switching off lights and fans when not in use. Usage of room coolers, air conditioners, room heaters and geysers only when required. Besides reducing the flame while cooking and using pressure cookers to cook food. 3. Usage of tube lights, CFLs and LEDs to save electricity. Usage of public transport and bicycles and rickshaws to save fuels. These measures are needed as it has two advantages, which are A. It will delay the energy crisis, and 2. It will provide more time to scientists, technicians and chemists to develop alternative sources of energy. Conservation of fossil fuels. We know that some natural resources such as fossil fuels, coal and petroleum, forest, minerals, etc. are exhaustible. The known reserves of all these resources will last at the most a few hundred years. In India, we produce only about 30% of the petroleum needed by us, and the rest is imported. Save petrol or diesel while driving. Some such tips are as follows. Drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. Switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where you have to wait. Ensure correct tire pressure. Ensure regular maintenance of the vehicles.